Alright everyone, hello and welcome back to the third game of this semi-final match to determine our second finalist between What Alpha and Lana. So let's take a look at the team comps and see if anything's changed. It looks like for What Alpha there has not been any change in their lineup. And for Lana, same there. So both
Same
teams.
team compositions. These guys are very, very confident in the strategies that they're running. They definitely believe in them, and they've led each team to 1-1. So this is going to be close.
It's 1-1 with the same lineup, so execution is the name of the game right here. And let's see if Lana can put pressure on Amani, or if What Alpha can make sure that Amani gets the protection she needs. And again, I think we're going to see the same thing at the beginning of this match that we've normally seen. The standard poke war from both sides, and that's just going to be... it's because neither of these teams want to play aggressively. They know that there's a lot on the line, and playing with a risk, maybe not something you want to do on the third game of the best of three.
I mean, it would be an absolute gambit. They could choose to go in very, very aggressively. They could choose to play it super, super safe. For the moment, we're going to see the poke war. Trip's actually waiting, I think, till level 3, waiting for all the creatures to be spawned up before they actually go in for an aggressive play. She's been waiting off to the side, actually is going to jump over the wall, continues using her map movement and her dodging, and hasn't actually gone for the stealth up play that we've seen her use multiple times. Now, she's kept the enemy creatures in combat a little bit. She's going to get pinned down, though, and they're going to see Trip start shooting at her and start zoning her out.
Yeah, and again, one of the things that I think would break this early game lull is if one of the teams managed to find a way to trick and out-rotate the other team, maybe try to push through the caves, force a couple of them over to E, and then fake them out, use Margrave to get a great initiation on one of the two stragglers, or one or two of the stragglers, and basically get a pick off of that. The thing about any plays like that is you have to be careful because that can easily backfire. Your team can be the one getting caught out, and you might not be able to get the kills you're looking for, so it's always a risk. And both of these teams so far looking to play the poke war, but I think Lana is just slightly ahead in terms of power.
Yeah, very, very slightly. They had Trip stepping forward and actually put a couple creatures into combat, so that reduced her ability, or reduced What Alpha's ability to continue pressuring. Really, we're just waiting to see where they send their aggression. Trip's actually going to step forward, stealths away. We're going to see whether or not she can find a target. Is going to move around the side, is actually looking to make a sneaky play towards the back. They're calling out Trip's motions, and they know pretty much exactly where she is. She jumps into the wall twice. That's going to be pretty bad for her, but she's going to be able to pressure them up. Now all the remaining members have pushed over onto the C point. They're going to go onto the Bloomer. Charnock doing a lot of good damage, getting off his AoEs. Trip's actually going to get hit with a tornado. That's going to hurt her a lot, but the rest of her team has backed off of their pressure, so they've gone in, and actually Trip going in for some power steal. This is going to be really, really good for her team if she can get out of there quickly. She's going to get spotted out and is actually waiting off to the side, keeping the enemy Guardian in combat, sees the HK, and is just waiting around the corner. HK actually doesn't seem to know where she is. I think that their Cerberus range isn't enough. She's going to get spotted out, starts to dash away using that map movement, and it continues as a poke war.
Yeah, and that's actually the first time we've seen either of these teams try to steal power before a push actually happens. Ooh, and Amani almost getting caught out by Charnock right there, able to stealth and jump down to the safety of the Bloomer. The Bloomer uses its special abilities, so if there's any time for Lana to go in, it's definitely now. And Roland is getting sniped at. He's taking a little bit of damage, but for the most part, they're just poking it out. Maybe waiting for the rest of their team to respond. And Trip is going around the back. She might be able to get an initiation onto Amani, but it might be too late. Roland forced to jump away.
Yep, Roland super, super low. He's going to back up. Really, all they're doing is gaining slow amounts of power gain. Trip's been sneaking around the backside. They've been keeping all of the creatures in combat, and it's, it is a very slow strategy, but it's a winning strategy. We've seen it have a lot of effects. Now Trip stealing away a little bit of power. She's going to put that in combat. They've actually sent the HK back to deal with her, and Trip should be able to get out of there. We've seen how good this Trip's map movement is with her slide dodging and just keeping this HK busy, because if you are near the enemy Guardian, they will not generate passive power, and the power gain slowly moving in favor of Team Lana without them having to pick up a single kill.
I see. So Soup's basically teaching this this Trip player to be like Quick.
Soup is teaching this Trip player all the sneaky
He's teaching him how to be like Quick. Because
he's building Quick Jr.
Quick loves to do that in any scrims that I face him in. It's so annoying and a lot of times it's hard to kill him too, so you really have to be wary of that, and the rest of your team have to make sure that they can get other things around the map if they want to fight this kind of playstyle, or they need someone who's really good at anti-backcapping, and there's no Roland on the team, which is the best anti-backcapper in the game at the moment.
Yep, they do not have a role, and they've kept the same team composition. And basically, we're seeing Quick Jr. making plays, going in, stealing power, harassing the Guardian, moving around. And that's going to be a little bit of power steal, instantly gets himself out of there. However, the rest of their team is doing good damage. Charnock is about to start taking something. Charnock is going to go down, and that's going to be the aggressive push for What Alpha. They're going to start to move forward. They need their, Lana is going to need their trip back, and they're going to be able to dodge away from those bolos. Charnock is stepping up, doing a lot of good damage. Roland, he's now on the back end, and that's going to be some really good damage coming in from HK. But there's the Charnock ultimate. That's going to do a huge amount of damage, and the healing in from Vidasi. Oh my god, they almost brought down so many targets. Lana really needs to progress forward while the health bars are super low.
Yeah, and at this point, Lana might be able to push out at this point, but it doesn't look like they're going to be able to do it. And the Bloomers are going to be able to heal either target, but Trip looks like she's at C at some point, but she's just going to retreat to her half of the map and eventually probably go back and try to steal more power. And as we see, even though What Alpha got a kill, they're still really far behind in power because of the amount of power stealing that Trip was doing the entire time. So again, teammates, they really good communication right there.
Yep, Trip using, and this Trip's learned almost every good angle to cut across. She's really, really good about her stamina management, using that lightning dash at all the right moments. And this is like Teldo levels of Trip. This is Teldo levels of map movement. I don't know where Teldo is, but he should be proud.
It's exactly Teldo levels. We'll have to get a 1v1 at some point.
Yeah, this Trip's going to have to Quick Jr. is going to 1v1 Teldo, and we're going to see who's better. But that's going to be a huge amount of power steal coming in. Trip now needs to get out of there as HK is showing up. Does manage to stealth away. Meanwhile, the rest of her team is continuing with this slow push. They're keeping everybody from What Alpha busy while Trip sneaks around the side. And every time HK goes back, Trip just keeps him busy. They just absolutely harass this team.
Yeah, and not having HK in the team fights is really going to be huge if Lana do decide to go on for a full-on engagement, especially because Trip can get to the fight multitudes faster than HK can. HK's mobility comes from the amount of stamina he has. He's got the largest stamina pool in the game, but compare that to Trip's electric slide, and you can't really compare it, really.
Yeah, so Trip sneaking around the side, dodges away from the mortar. This is really all about the Trip and the HK fighting. Pretty much everything else is sort of a slow push-pull from the two teams. Really, it's all about how this Trip is manipulating the map, and it's highly skillful for a new player, someone who's not used to playing this game, has only been brought in recently, but Trip, she's going to get seen, takes a little bit of damage from Charnock. They've managed to pick her, or figure out where she is, and they're calling out the positioning. She's going to continue to try and dash away. She's got 2 targets chasing after her, so that's pretty good for her team, and her team should be able to start pushing up.
And we see Amani, she's basically unattended to in the during the windows of their middle point, and that's something that they really have to keep in mind, because if a team fight does break out, there's really going to be no one to put pressure on her, and that's going to be thousands of damage across the entire map. But it looks like Trip is going straight for the wound.
Everybody is actually going in to see the entire rest of the team from Lana is aggressing forward, trying to bring down the target. They've actually got Trip there in the back. I don't know why she's trying to steal power. She's trying to keep them busy, but that's going to be a really good play coming in. Are they going to pick up the kill? They do get the Bloomer. Can they get the Vidasi? Vidasi v Vidasi. Trip's actually still taking a lot of damage. In goes the Margrave. He's going to lock up the enemy Vidasi, and can they bring her down? She doesn't have focus. That's him with the kill, going over to What Alpha. That'll regenerate them a little bit of power. The Guardian hasn't managed to push up yet, and they're going to lose 1 and 2. They've actually lost. Wait, no, only lose 1, and now goes the Guardian. He's going to be going down soon.
Yep, and here we go. The Guardian is attacking. They do have Trip to worry about it, and 3 members of the team pushing through the caves.
Amani and HK are back here. Trip looking to go forward. They did get a good amount of damage. Trip was able to sneak around the side. She's doing a lot of damage to this wound. HK trying to bring her down. He's going to be able to zone her off a little bit, but they only need a little bit more damage, and that's going to be the first wound going over to Lana. Trip is going to be able to retreat. Roland uses his hook shot to get himself over the wall. Amani is chasing onto the Charnock, but he's going to have the detonation, and the only member from the side of Lana to go down is going to be the HK.
Yep, and they're still chasing onto another target. Charnock is running pretty low right now. We'll see if Amani can get that one last snipe shot she needs. Oh, one more shot. The mortar misses, and the mortar actually got it. Nice. And that would be where someone screams Kobe.
Kobe.
Really? It's got to be one of the players, man.
Kobe.
You're still not one of the. You know, you're really bad at this.
It doesn't matter. At least Charnock should be able to revive soon. That's going to be a good push coming in, and there's not a huge amount of power generation from the side of What Alpha. They're going to need to be able to group up again before they go in aggressively and group up to be able to get off a push. The power generation is okay for them. They've got a decent amount of monsters once they respawn that Bloomer. And for the moment, What Alpha should have the advantage, especially if they can lock down this Trip, but Trip is on her game.
Yeah, and I also want to see both teams actually start upgrading their creatures a little bit more because, again, that helps you generate more power. And in a standstill like this where most of what's happening is a...
Oh, in goes the Margrave. He's going to get a triple knockdown onto Rowan and the Vidasi. Vidasi taking a ton of damage. Charnock has backed up. He doesn't have focus yet, so they're trying to bring down one. They will be able to pick up one. No, Vidasi is still alive. And Rowan making an amazing play. Trip is in the back line making awesome plays. Rowan is going to pick up one. Can he pick up a second? He's on top of the Charnock. Charnock detonates away. In comes the Swarm. It's going to pick up one. Can he bring him down? No, Charnock picks up the kill, and What Alpha is going to start pushing forward.
Yeah, and one more kill is left for the team, and Charnock goes down. That's a triple kill for HK. Huge team fight for What Alpha, and that is exactly what they need to do to counterbalance the amount of power that Trip has been stealing. And now Margrave is spawning in, and so is Vidasi, so they're probably going to be able to stop her and maybe even kill her. She's pretty low on health. One stun. It's going to be able to almost do it. Come on, where is the Vidasi? Oh, Trip is actually going to be able to get out of there, but no matter, What Alpha do have the push.
Trip with an amazing sneak away. She's going to continue stealing power. And oh man, those tornadoes are rough. If anybody shows up to find her and kill her, she will go down. For the moment though, she's been doing a great job of stealing power. And if nobody goes back, she'll be able to steal enough power to be able to set up the push. The rest of her team is aggressing forward. They're going to be able to hold their point. And just, oh my god, this Trip player.
And What Alpha could have gotten the push there, but no one went back to defend against Trip. And now she's just in the back line the entire time. They really need to win this team fight.
Their team is keeping them busy. Charnock is waiting off to the side. We're going to see whether or not Charnock from the side of Lana can make any play. But Vidasi from What Alpha is keeping the HK alive. The Margrave is going forward. They've got the Amani there as well, but they're not dealing with this HK. He's perched up high, doing a ton of damage. Rowan is there as well. He's going to bring out so many of them low. Out comes the Charnock ultimate. That is an amazing play, and Amani is going to be brought down. Vidasi is going out too. Trip is coming from behind. Here comes the cleanup. Amani is still alive, but it doesn't matter. That's going to be the push coming in for Lana.
Lana with a miracle play. End up stealing power, taking the push, and stealing it right from What Alpha's hands. Amazing play by their team. Huge communication, and I have to commend Soup as the coach. That was just really, really great. And the amount of power that Trip was stealing the entire time was huge. And now they have all 5 members of their team in the back here. They just need one of them to survive,
HK.
and they're going to be able to get the wound.
The Guardian is about to start attacking forward. They do have the Trip waiting off to the side. Down it goes. It's actually going to take about half the wound. They don't need that many. But Vidasi from the side of What Alpha is going to bring them down. But they've got so many members in here. That's going to be the wound. And Trip is going to get out. Who's still left alive? Charnock goes down. Rowan is there as well. And oh my god, this Trip is looking for more. She wants to go in onto this Amani. That would be super, super aggressive. The heals are coming in from Vidasi. And they all just saw Trip.
They're all trying to find Trip, but they can't seem to get her. Imani and Vidasi. There goes Margrave. Margrave jumps in, finally gets the stun down. Dash away by Trip, and it looks like she's actually going to get away again. The stealth is just too strong. And Margrave is once again trying to search for her. He sees her on the radar.
Oh, there's the electric
there goes
slide.
The Guardian.
Oh my god, she's right down with the Cerberus!
The Cerb takes it. She runs right into the Cerb, but either way, Trip was being so impactful.
So we've all learned that Baby Cerberus is OP. It can see you when you're stealth. Don't even try, Trips. Don't even try. So we are entering the clash. This is going to be a little rough for What Alpha. They're going to have to group up because they only have about half the power gauge, and that's going to be a really good play coming in from the Roland. Charnock doesn't have focus yet, but they can still make something amazing happen here. Power from the Naga. Charnock goes forward from What Alpha, but that's going to be Roland helping pick up the kill. He's going to get one. They're going to get two. Out comes the Bolas. They're slowing down the Margaret. Can they take him out? Trip is coming in from the side. She's chasing him down. There's so much poison, and that's going to be Lana picking up the kill. They're turning things around.
Lana are huge in this game right now. They have nearly shut out What Alpha after 2 really intense games. They are really on their form, And what Alpha really need to clean up their mindset right now. That is something that
goodbye,
is so big for
Vadasi.
them.
She's going to get brought down. Actually, that's going to be some good defense coming in, but the Charnock is there. That's going to be the kill for them. They're going to get a lot of power off of this. This could be really rough for what Alpha. Trip is going to be able to get away. They're going to take the power, or take the creature, and it's not going to be responding. And actually, oh my god. The
HK is trying to go for it. There goes the Charnock. And one last mortar. He's not going to be able to do it, but he might still be able to kill the enemy HK with the help of his own Charnock. He's taken down really low though, and the blunderbuss does not quite take him out. So that's going to be a return kill, and that almost brings What Alpha back to getting their push. They need to be really careful right now.
That might have been over aggressive by that HK. He did have his focus up. He could have locked down and used that. Would have guaranteed the kill, but it seems like they're trying to save that for the next push. Now the power gauge is super close. Trip is back up. They're going to need to group up and make a play, and they have to address forward. If they let the passive power generation go through, it's going to be What Alpha getting the kill, although they could just play safe and wait for it because What Alpha is down 2 wounds to none.
Yep. And we're once again going back to this poke war. Both teams, neither of them really know who's going to be ahead in the power war, but it looks like What Alpha actually upgraded one of their back points, so that point is going to stop generating power until it spawns. But once it does spawn, it's going to be generating more power. So it's really risky. A risky play right here, and I can't really call which team is going to get the push first. Part of it's going to come down to whether or not anyone can keep the opponent's creatures or Guardian in combat, and maybe get a kill as well. Those are a couple of ways to do this, but this is so close to getting the next push.
Yep, passive power generation. Someone's going to have to step forward. I think in the end, it's going to go over to the side of What Alpha just because they have the upgraded creature. It's going to be super close. Someone's going to need to get in there and actually get some aggression down to be able to stop some of the passive power generation, at least from the Guardian. Trip is probably the only person in the game who can make this happen right now. She's currently dodging and juking, dip, dive, and dodge all of the abilities, but she needs to start aggressing forward because if they don't, they're not going to be able to get the power advantage, and it's slowly leaning over to the side of What Alpha. Looks like they're going to be able to get the push. Trip is going to start stepping forward. She needs to go forward, and it's going to be the push for What Alpha. Now, it's going to need to be a huge defense, or they can just let the wound happen. They can play super safe. Trip's actually going in.
They need to take the team fight right here. That's the biggest
She's going
priority.
on top of the Amani.
Oh,
She's going to do a lot of damage.
There goes the focus.
She picks her up.
The
That's going to be huge for them.
The rest of the team fight needs to follow. And here comes HK. He's going to get the swarm down. They're going to get the wound, but at what cost? Charnock focus goes down. Vadasi is taken extremely low. Can they clean up the rest of the team fight and get the next push? Margrave is on the run. Vadasi is so low. One more auto attack, and she goes down. 3/4 of the bar up for Lana.
Yep, they're going to be able to aggress onto those creatures, and they want this Margrave. They want a Margrave. They're going to go in. Margrave's going to dive forward. They're looking for this HK as well. Trip juking away. They've got so much damage coming in from the HK, and Trip actually goes in and helps pick up the kill, getting out. They need to get everybody out of there and heal up as it's about to be the push.
Yep, and here come the spawns. They need to make sure that they don't get baited into a spawn, a respawn kill at this point. And HK takes out the HK, and it looks like that's going to be it for now. Both teams are going to return to their usual stances, but it's do or die for What Alpha right now. They need to make a big play right here. They can't wait around any longer. The longer they wait, the more power Lana gets, and even if both of the teams generate power at the same rate, Lana is still going to get the push first, and there's not going to be any shield for What Alpha. So this is huge. They need to wait. They need to group up, wait, make sure that they can find a good engagement and take a team fight, take a 5-0 wipe.
Yep, so Lana grouping up. They're using Trip sort of to taunt the enemy team and trying to get them to throw skill shots at them. Maybe they'll go in when they see the right cooldown through, but for the moment, it's really just a waiting game for Lana. They should be able to wait through the passive power generation.
Honestly, all Lana really needs to do is stay near their Guardian the entire time. Don't give What Alpha any chance to push in for any sort of team fight or any kills. Stay near their Guardian. The Guardian's going to help them out by doing a couple of poison attacks as well as a tail whip. That's what the Naga does, and it looks like they're doing just that right now. They're not even exposing themselves to Amani, which is huge, and you just don't want to play a peak war against Amani because you're going to end up losing, especially at such a long distance. But it's really What Alpha needs to go in right now, which is super hard because one of their players is Amani. Amani is a super passive player. She can't rush in with the rest of the team and make a team fight happen. So their composition does not benefit them in this certain situation, but they need to do something right now.
Yep, they're going to need to aggress forward. They do have Margrave for initiation, so that's probably their best bet. And I don't know, they can't really sit back and defend. They have to choose to step forward. But for the moment, they seem content with holding off.
It looks like they are holding it off for now. What Alpha, their window is closing. Take a look at the power bar. That's just about, I would say, 20 or 30 seconds until the wound or the push happens. And with the amount of shield that they have, I don't think that's going to be enough. Oh, Charnock ultimate goes down on the side of what Alpha. I'm wondering if that was just a fat finger because there was no one there. That could be huge, and it could just actually even allow Lana to get the push and have all 5 members of their team forced through the middle, and there's no Charnock ultimate to stop them anymore.
That, I think, was most definitely a misclick, which would be very, very unfortunate. However, the power gauge is about to go up. Lana will be moving in for their push momentarily, just a couple more seconds before the creatures generate the necessary power, as well as the Guardian. And there's the map control, a little bit more. God, these are lazy creatures. There we go.
That 1 second is so agonizing. There you go, yep.
So that's going to be the push coming in for Lana, and we can hear them getting loud. They're getting ready, set to start going forward for the push. The Guardian goes down, and it's going to be the defense from What Alpha. Lana goes in. They're doing decent damage from the side. They're actually rotating around the side. Margrave goes in. He locked up a bunch of them for the CC. Charnock's going to try and detonate forward, but he can't get on top of them, and this could be a huge defense as HK goes forward. They're going to bring him down. Trip is going to try and get into the middle of the fight. They need somebody to get in and do that damage. What is going on here? Lana can't do the damage. Everybody is alive by just slivers of health. A huge reflect. That's going to be the defense coming in for What Alpha. Trip is the only one alive, and she's going to get brought down.
And What Alpha is still in a tough situation right now. They need to push down one of the points, either E or F, but they'll be super deep into enemy territory, and they need to watch the spawn timers. Looks like 10 seconds. They have 10 seconds to do something in the back line until the other team spawns. This is huge. HK is going for the Cerberus, and so is the rest of the team. They're going to be able to get this, and hopefully they can get out. There go the respawns. They need to get out now.
Yep, this is going to be super, super aggressive. Everybody rotating in towards the B point for the side of of Lana. What Alpha has managed to get everybody out towards the middle of the map. So again, the poke war will continue, and it looks like What Alpha is just going to wait things out and see if they force Lana to aggress.
And considering the amount, basically the Guardians moving up makes the effective map a lot smaller because the back of it doesn't get used anymore. And that basically means that the rotation times are much, much shorter. So even though he was doing it before Clash, Trip can't really go in and steal power all that effectively anymore because someone's always going to be ready to rotate right back and take her out. So that's something that, is in What Alpha's favor at this moment. That was one of the big strategies Lana was relying on early game. They can no longer do it anymore, so they have to hope that their lead was enough. And at this point, the power generation is really in favor of What Alpha. They have 2 creatures, one of them upgraded to 1 unupgraded creature for Lana. So Lana, they need to win the game off of a team fight, but they have 2 chances to do so. They have 2 wounds left.
Yep, they're going to have plenty of opportunity to do so. We just see Trip chilling, hasn't actually touched the keyboard, is barely moving them out. They're just waiting there for the push that they know is coming because they don't want to step forward and give them a huge advantage. The additional power generation that they'll get off of getting all of that team fight kills and the wound will be really, really rough on Lana if What Alpha were to be able to pick up the team fight. The passive power generation should be coming through momentarily, a little bit longer, and we'll see the next push.
Yep, and it's just going to be about 10 or 15 seconds right now. There goes one of the creatures giving the map control power over to it, and we need another one fairly soon. Unfortunately, attacking the Guardian from a very long distance also doesn't steal power, so you really need to get close. Part of the reasons why Assassins are the ones that do it so often. So the Guardian is attacking now, and with the amount of range they have Amani, they have HK. I don't think this is going to be a hard push to defend, or an easy push to defend, rather. There goes the mortar, and they're going to be able to take the wound. But what
can they bring somebody down? They're
looking
for this Charnock. Charnock is really, really low. Is it going to go down? They are going to get one. Can they get another detonation forward by the Charnock? Trip in the back line, looking for the Amani, gets hit with a tornado, has to stealth herself away. Roland following up with the Vidasi. They need a little bit more damage to bring somebody down. That's going to be a good wall shield by the Margrave, and it's going to be the defense, but that's a bit of power generation going over to the side of Lana.
Again, Lana need to do something in the next, I believe it's about 1 or 2 minutes, because the passive power regen is eventually going to favor. Oh, here
they're
we go.
going in.
There goes the kill. They got one. And now What Alpha is on a tear. Let's see if they can pick up anything else. They get it. They get the snipe, and they're continuing on to the team fight. There goes the focus from Amani. 3 kills in a row to 1 for Lana. That is going to give them a huge power advantage, and they already have the creature advantage.
Roland in a ton of trouble. They are so far behind at this point. Roland is low, and they only have Roland and Trip, so for the moment, they're going to need to play super, super safe. They want to aggress forward, but it may not be safe for them. They do have the passive power generation. They should be able to wait this game out.
Lana is looking for anything they can do right now, any sort of initiation they can fight, and it's going to be better for them than it is for What Alpha to find an initiation, because What Alpha has an Amani. Amani is someone who's really easy to get on top of. She's not very mobile, and she's someone you can easily shut down, doesn't have too much CC, doesn't have too much survivability. She's basically relying on her teammates to give her the survivability.
Yeah, it's going to be really, really rough for Lana to go in. Trip is going to need to make an amazing play. Now, they do have, I believe, that's a level 1 Charnock focus, so that'll do pretty good damage if they're able to get on top of somebody, but it's going to require an amazing team fight and a huge defense coming in from Lana.
And Vidasi also has her ultimate as well, her focus, so focusing Vidasi in this fight isn't really going to benefit Lana whatsoever in this team fight, but it looks like Lana is trying to push up the left side of the map. They have a couple of members of their team there, and What Alpha might be trying to force a flank. They're all there. They're all going for a sidewinder. Can they catch What Alpha out of position? Here we go. They're going for the creature, actually, and it looks like they're just going to continue poking from the cliff. There we go. They're jumping down.
This is going to be a fight coming in from the side. They've actually sent Trip into power steal. This is all actually a gambit. They need to get their members out of there. Vidasi is going super, super low. Charnock has actually stepped way too far forward, and they actually sent Trip in to steal some power. Now it's Vidasi v Vidasi. Vidasi is going to go down. That's going to be huge for What Alpha. Now they're going to try and rotate onto the Charnock or the Trip, whichever one they can catch out of position. And the gambit by Lana may not have paid off.
And at this point, what Lana needed to do was they needed to take the team
they're
fight.
gonna
As soon as
find
Trip pulled
them.
2 members of the team, really nice mortar right there, knocking them all back, and they're actually going to be able to get out of that. So they have one more chance. They have one more chance to take the push back.
They need to aggress forward on the side of Lana. Again, they're going to need to push forward because at this point, the passive power generation is still in the favor of What Alpha. What Alpha does have the creature advantage, and this is really, really rough as one of them is a adult creature, which is increasing the power gain.
Yeah, and that adult creature is really one of the big things that forces a timer on the game. I was talking about this in one of the earlier games, but Lana right now, they're on a timer. They have a limited amount of time to force a team fight. Otherwise, it's going to be What Alpha's push. Now, it's possible that What Alpha could get the push but not get the wound, in which case Lana would have a pretty good advantage because they're most likely going to get a team wipe off of that. I can only imagine What Alpha is going to go all in for the wound once they get the push. So that's something that Lana could possibly be banking on, but it's a super risky play because putting yourself in the position to have the game ended right in front of you, that's something that, I don't know, you have to be really, really confident to do that.
There's a level 2 Charnock focus on the side of Lana. They may be trying to set up to make a play with that. That'll be a lot of damage. Trip and Roland should be able to clean things up. And that's the only thing that Lana can be banking on because at this point, What Alpha is primed and ready to start pushing.
And we're seeing, again, more poke war all around the map. None of these teams really want to do anything, and I think at this point, Lana might be banking on What Alpha getting the push and Lana basically wiping them when they try. So it's all going to come down to whether or not Lana can basically stave off the offense. And here we go, a couple of seconds, and the push is going to be here. Map control. Just there we go. We got it from the Bloomer. And here we go.
Right. Oh my god. Trip is going in on Amani. She's trying to pick her off. She did go into stealth. There goes the level 2 Charnock ultimate. But it doesn't matter as the Margrave has gone in. The members are falling for the side of Lana. They need this Trip to make a play. She's going to be able to pick up the HK. Can she get the Amani? The Amani's still alive. Now she's going to turn over to the Margrave. They need to bring down this, not the Amani, the Vidasi. Vidasi goes down. Margrave goes down. Is this the play coming in for What's Alpha? No, it's Lana with the team wipe.
Lana, do it! They play a very, very risky play. They put their wound up as a bet, and it paid off. Look at that. They have 2/3 of their wound up. All they need is a few more kills, and they're going to be able to get the push.
This is the game that never ends. This game has been so close. I don't think we've seen a match in this entire tournament go down to so many pushes and very, very close wounds. Amazing play with these two very different team compositions. One centered around long-range sniping, one centered around the assassin. It's very, very different play, and it's amazing to see these players do this after playing this game for so little time.
This is a game that I think I might let you get away with calling it as close as the CP1 tap game.
Yes, this is almost as close as the CP1 tap.
If there's still one more push after this, I think we can safely say it's as close as the CP1 tap game. So if one more push happens with no wound, I'd say it. I'd say it.
Okay, we'll see. So we enter this awesome stage of Gigantic where the two teams are very, very close. Neither one wants to aggress, and it all comes down to us. Very, very mechanical push and pull. Trip is going to try and sneak forward, going to try and put their creatures and their guardian in combat and get them to overstep their bounds. She's going to try and bait them out and bait them forward. She has to avoid a lot of snipe damage coming in from an Amani and a Charnock that is long range burn and almost the damage to headshot her, as Trip is super, super squishy. And she's going to need to play very, very safe as they wait for this power to generate up.
Oh, and speaking of one tap, the coach for Lana Superior is actually on one tap, so they've got a really good coach on their shoulders. And let's see if he can figure out how to help them win this game, because the passive regen is really going to help What Alpha get the shield. I don't know if they're banking on the power regen, and I don't even know if it's going to be enough, because an upgraded creature plus one creature versus one unupgraded creature, maybe they want to drop back, spend a focus, upgrade their F point. That would get them a little bit closer in terms of the power generation. I don't know if it would exactly be enough to force them to get the push instead of giving it to What Alpha, but it might just be.
What Alpha is actually aggressing a little bit further forward. They're looking for a slightly better angle than they've been finding. There's no point in standing in front of their Guardian because it's not really doing them much. It's not as if the long-range poke could generate any power. So for the moment, they're just rotating around a little bit and looking for a slight advantage, looking to probably to catch this Trip out, but Trip's not going anywhere.
Yeah, Trip, so far, even in this series, we've seen Trip get better and better at escaping the enemies. So at this point, it's going to be really hard to be able to catch him, and Margrave is going to be a really big part of that. So they're going to have to rely on Margrave's stun because no one else on the team has a really reliable form of CC. You have the HK Mortar, which can displace someone, but unless you're an angle master and geometry all over the place, you're not really going to send them where you want them to be.
I don't know. We've seen some HKs do that, but it does take a little bit more play than 2 days here at PAX East. That's one of the things that makes this so amazing. These players have only been playing this game for a few days. A lot of these guys picked it up right on the show floor. They tried it out. They thought it was awesome. They grouped as 5, and now they're here playing in this tournament and showing some amazing skilled play and great team coordination.
And here we go. HK is just launching mortars across the map, seeing what he can do here. The F point for Lana is still not upgraded, so the power difference is closing slowly but surely. What Alpha might even get the push here too, so Lana really have to figure out what they want to do, what they want to force, and it might just be as simple as sending Trip into the back line and keep some creatures in combat. But again, that is a super risky play. Anything they really do is risky. Do any of them? Yeah, a couple of them do have focuses. They're saving them for the team fight, but I would honestly upgrade F and just make sure that you can get the push.
Yeah, I actually think that Lana might lose the passive power generation. The fact that they have 2 creatures, one of them is adult, that's generating them significantly more power, and what looked like it was going to be the slow waiting game for Lana, they might run into trouble here. They may need to actually aggress onto What's Alpha.
It looks like they're going to, especially if they wait longer. If the power bars are pretty much even, and that's when they decide to upgrade the creature, then it's going to be too late. At that point, what Alpha already has, because if it's even and What Alpha has the greater power generation, then math says they're going to win. They're going to get the push there, and I don't know. Lana might be banking on another one of those. All right, let's expose our wound, win a team fight. No, they could be doing it, but 2 in a row is even riskier than the first one. And I mean, the first one didn't work, so they're really going to have to figure something out. And even if they're just waiting for the power bars to be almost full to the point where 1 kill really makes the difference, and then they're going to go all in for that 1 kill, even if 2 or 3 of them die. That might be a possible strategy they want to pull there too, but they really need to think of something soon because the power bars are just about evened up.
Yep, and I honestly think that Lana's going to lose the passive power war. I think that because they're behind in creatures,
they definitely
they're going to
are.
lose the passive power war. What looked like it was a good strategy for them to wait things out and not aggress forward, the math seems to be showing that they are not going to gain enough power quickly enough. And maybe this Amani gets some shots off. She did hit Roland in the head. Maybe another good headshot could turn things around. She's going to get healed up by Vadasi, so it won't take too long for him to stay alive. But he takes one. He's going to juke away. Maybe he'll take another. Actually, they're starting to move forward. That was a tornado that hit that HK, and Mortar did go forward. And Trip, what is Trip doing? Trip snuck in and stole some power.
Ooh, really slick play right there by Trip. He needs to do that again, basically, and that's all they can really do. As you can see, that gave him a tiny bit of power, but at this point, they're at the point of no return where even if they upgrade F, that's not enough to help them win the power war. They're going to have to force more cheeky plays like that, either get a pick or keep sending Trip in the back line, but as the entirety of what Alpha are grouping up here, that could be one of the riskiest plays ever.
Yep, this is super, super close. They've actually got Trip sneaking off to the side, and she's actually reducing the passive power generation from the Guardian, and it looks like they're sending people forward. Vadasi taking a little bit of damage. Charnock is going to start stepping forward. Trip goes in for some power steal. Now they're going to try and get on top of her. That's going to be the days. Could this be the end? Trip decides to electric slide away, and she manages to get out of there. Now they're all rotating over to the C point. They need to get a little bit of damage down, and everybody backing out from the side of Lana. They've almost got the passive power generation in their favor. HK is taking a ton of damage. We're going to see whether or not this Trip can actually come in for flank.
Trip is keeping the power bars even right now. It's at the point where I think one kill is going to make the difference.
Oh, What Alpha has clear advantage here.
We're going to have to wait and see what this engagement brings, but we definitely see Lana. They want to make something happen. They know that it's now or never. It's do or die.
HK is super low. In goes the Trip. Can she find a target? She's actually going to sneak into the back line and starts aggroing the creatures as well. It's still too close, though. They don't have enough passive power generation. They still need to make an aggressive play.
Now look at the mini-map right now. We see two members of Lana just in the back line. I'm really wondering what they're going to do here, if they're trying to go for a pincer move. Here come the rest of the members of Lana. It looks like they're going for a flank. Here comes the initiation.
HK goes in with the swarm. That's a huge amount of damage. They need to get one kill. Oh, they're going to get it. They're going to get the kill. That's going to be the push. Going over to Lana. Now they're going to get forward. Vadasi taking a ton of damage. She's going to use her focus. HK is laying in the herb, but that's going to be a great shield coming from the Margrave. He's going to be kept alive. Out comes the Charlotte focus. That's going to bring one down. Can Trip go in? She gets picked off. Rowan is still there. Down goes the Guardian. Can they go in for it? A little bit more damage. It's going to be Lana.
Lana takes it. They will take it. One more auto attack. Is anyone alive? Is anyone? Yes. They got it. They have gotten the kill. HK with the very last shot.
I got significantly baited. I was like 2 seconds off.
That was an intense match.